Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. And please, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that button and subscribe to the All This Math YouTube channel as well. Turn on the notifications so that when I put out new content, you will be made aware of that new content so you can benefit from it. Today's problem is brought to us by, well, actually, it was sent to me. Well, the idea for the problem, I should say, a good brother reached out to me, brother named Obafemi from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, hit me up. I hit him up, or, I probably asked him to send me a request of a type of math problem that he would like to see. He's out there in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, doing good work, doing his thing, homeschooling his children along with his wife and whatnot. And he said, can I get a problem that deals with sales tax, deals with tips, calculating bills on, business transactions. And I said, cool, I'm gonna put that together and I'm gonna put it on the page. And as soon as this is done, I'm gonna send the link out to the brother. And anybody else that's out there watching it right now can benefit too, because this is a skill that we all need to have as well. So if you notice, I have this hashtag up here on the board. It says support black business that support us back. Now, usually we see support black business, and that's always very important. But I also added the end part that support us back because, again, we always, as consumers, when we're dealing with producers, when we're dealing with businesses, just like I have a business, right? A lot of us have businesses. We always want to have a mutually beneficial relationship between the consumer and the business, right? There should be a mutually beneficial relationship. There shouldn't never be an exploitative relationship. And we should be careful that while we're trying to do the right thing and trying to support black business as black people, we don't fall into traps of just supporting black businesses that really are just trying to exploit the black community in the same way that groups of other ethnicities have been supporting the black have been exploiting. Let me say that correctly. Have been exploiting the black community for a very long time. We don't want to fall into those traps. Again, there should be a mutually beneficial relationship between the person that's going into a business, spending money there, and also the business that is taking money, right? In exchange for a service or a good, right? And also, like, throwing this hoodie on today, this Black Panther Party hoodie, dealing with the People's Free Food Program, made me think of this because it got me thinking about, Fred Hampton, the late Chairman Fred Hampton, and one of the many things he said about, being on the lookout for exploiters that look just like us, right? So let's be clear. We want to support black business. However, we got to go a little bit deeper. We got to make sure we support black businesses that support us back. We don't just want, we don't want to just be, dealing with the businesses that just come in and they just really just trying to run up a bag, trying to get money from us and then leave and run out to the suburbs and then just come back only when they, selling their stuff or whatever and have no real investment in the community and really don't like us no way. So anyway, enough about that. Let's move on. I told the brother Obafemi, I said, give me a name of a local black-owned business in your community. So he vouches for this business out in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where he's at. And the name of this is a coffee house. It's called the Indigo Blue Coffee House. So I've never been to Pine Bluff myself, but when I make my way out there, I'm gonna have to go check them out. I have to go hit up the Indigo Blue Coffee House out in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So I made up this problem where, similar to how I would do if I was in a classroom, and I wanted to teach the skill of having the students calculate a total bill or calculate a subtotal, calculate tax, and also calculate how much a 20% tip would be, right? And also then proceed to find the total bill, right? So I made this up. I said, okay, let's say you grab a spicy black bean veggie burger. That's on their menu. It's for $7.99. It comes with chips and I think a pickle on the side as well. Also a peach mango lemonade. They sell those for $5. It's a 16 ounce container, right? And maybe you want to get something for later, or get something for later like a banana nut muffin. Those banana nut muffins I seen on their Facebook profile, they look pretty good. So the banana nut muffins are $4, right? You might want to have that for later, like I said. So our goal in this problem is to first calculate what the subtotal is, right? The subtotal is the total amount of everything that you bought before tax is applied, right? That's the subtotal, okay? The tax is the amount that you got to pay in tax, right, to the local government or the state government. And also the 20% tip, you want to, give the business a little bit extra for good service, good customer service and whatnot. And also just to show additional appreciation, right? And also the total bill is what is going to be the total of the subtotal, the tax, and the 20% tip. So what we're going to get into now is like, how do we calculate all of this? All right, how do we calculate all this? So first, let's deal with the subtotal. So for the subtotal, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cost of each item and just add them together. So the spicy black bean burger is $7.99. The peach mango lemonade is $5. The banana nut muffin is $4. So we're going to add them all up. You just add them all up. Now, I would do this mentally. I use a method it's called rounding and compensating. That's a technical way to describe it. When I say that, I would round this $7.99 up to $8 because it's only a penny off from $8, right? So I'd round that up to $8. Then I would do 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 gives you 13. 13 plus 4 gives you 17, right? But it's not actually $17. So then we got to subtract that penny that we added to make the math easier. And that's going to give us $16.99. So that's our first answer. Our subtotal is $16.99, right? That's how much all the food costs, everything we buy. That's how much it costs by itself, $16.99. All right. The next thing, the tax. Now, the tax varies from state to state. I did a little research, and the sales tax on restaurant food is 6.5% in the state of Arkansas. 6.5%. So let me write that down. Write that down. Sales tax rate is 6.5%. That's important because state to state, the sales tax rates will vary. I think in Pennsylvania, I believe it's 7%. The sales tax is 7%. I should know this, but I'm pretty sure it's 7%. But then it varies because in Philly, where I live, it's a little higher. You know what I mean? I think it's like 8% in Philly, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, the sales tax rate is 6.5%. Now the question should be, well, what do I need to know that for and what am I going to do with it? This is how we apply the sales tax rate. What you do is, in order to find how much sales tax is on this bill, right, this subtotal, you take this percentage, 6.5%, and you have to convert this to a plain decimal. You got to take it out of percentage format and convert it into just straight decimal notation. So what you're going to do is, think of it as moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. 2 spaces to the left. Remember that, 2 spaces to the left, not to the right, to the left. All right. So that's going to be 1 space will be 0.65. And then if I got to move it another space, you might be thinking, but it's no number there. Right. We're going to use a placeholder. So that's going to be 0.065. So we convert 6.5% into a straight decimal, 0.065. Now, what do I do with that 0.065? I take that and I multiply it by my subtotal. Right? So I'm going to do 0.065 times the $16.99. That's how I'm going to find out how much money is my actual sales tax. Now I'm going to take my calculator out. You know, ain't no shame in my game. I'm not really equipped. I mean, I could figure this out in my head possibly, but I'm going to just use the calculator. So 0.065 times 16.99 equals 1.104, right? 1.104. Actually, my calculator says 1.10435, but we want to make this look like money. And when we make it look like money, we round to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So these numbers got to go. But the question is, should I round this 0 up to a 1 or should I round down to a 0? Because this is a 4, and we got to also know our rounding rules. Because this is a 4, we're going to round this down to a 0. So this is going to be just a straight $1.10. All right. So $1.10. That's how much sales tax. $1.10. Now look back at what we did. We took the sales tax rate, converted it into decimal form, 0.065, and then multiplied it by the subtotal. And that's what you do no matter where you go. Any place you go where you paying sales tax, it don't matter what type of store it is, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a clothing store, whether it's a car rental place, it don't matter where you at. You take the sales tax rate for that state or that locality, convert it to a decimal. Well, it's already a decimal, but you got to divide it by 100, right, to take it out of percentage format and put it into straight decimal notation. So we get 0.065 and just multiply by whatever your bill is. That's what we did. 0.065 times $16.99 gave me this number, but of course I want to make it look like money. So I got to round it to 2 decimal places, just like this is rounded to 2 decimal places. $16.99, $1.10. All right, next thing, 20% tip. All right, so we got to do the same process we did to find the sales tax to find what the tip actually should be. Now, one of my aunts taught me back in the day that she only applies the tip to the subtotal, right? And that's what I've been doing my whole life. But for the sake of simplicity, what I'm gonna do is, because a lot of restaurants and a lot of businesses, I don't know how different people move and different people operate, but they add up the subtotal and the tax first and then apply the tip to that. So for the sake of consistency, I'm gonna just do it that way. So we're gonna take this $16.99, add it to the $1.10 in sales tax, right? So that's gonna be $17.99 plus 9 cents. $17.99 plus 10 cents is gonna be $18.09, right? $18.09 with the sales tax. Now I want to pay a 20% tip. 20% is like the standard when service is good. All right, a little bit less if service is not as good as you would have liked it to have been. All right, so 20%. So I want to find out what is 20% of $18.09. Just like we found out what is 6.5% of $16.99. So 20%. I'm going to convert that to decimal notation, right? So I got $18.09 times 0.2, or just 0.2, or just 0.20. Now, how did I get that? Think about it. I told you, when you convert a percentage to straight or regular decimal notation, you take the decimal point and you move it 2 spaces to the left, 2 spaces that way, right? Now, you might be looking at 20% and be thinking, well, I don't see no decimal point. That's a good observation, right? In 20, the decimal point is not written, but we understand that when no decimal point is written, there's an invisible decimal point after the last digit. So think of it as an invisible decimal point right here. So then I'm going from here, 1, 2 spaces like that. And remember, you go 2 spaces, not 1 space, not 3 spaces, 2 spaces. All right, that's how I get 0.20, like that. I get 0.20. Now, when I multiply these 2 numbers together, that's going to give me how much the tip should be. So I go back to my calculator, right? 18.09 times 0.2, right? And that gives me, on my calculator, 3.618. Now, again, we're dealing with money. So we want to make this look like money. So we're going to round this to 2 decimal places. So this 8 got to go. But this 8 affects what this 1 is going to be, right? Now, because 8 is 5 or bigger, right? It's bigger than 5. That means this 1 is not going to stay a 1. This 1 is going to be rounded up and become a 2. This 1 is going to be rounded up and become a 2. So that's going to be $3.62. $3.62. That's our tip, right? So then we're going to take the subtotal, add it to the tax of $1.10, which gave us the $18.09, and then we're going to add $3.62 to get our total bill. So we know our 20% tip. Now we're about to find our total bill. So all I'm going to do is just take $18.09 and add it to 3.62. And that's going to give me total bill $21.71. $21.71 for our total bill. And this is how we do it. And this is how you calculate sales tax in any situation. This is how you calculate your tip in any situation. And, you know, I mean, there are other ways and other ways to manipulate, you know, mathematics to figure out the values. Some may be easier than others, but it really depends on the person. I chose to do the problem out this way because I wanted to show everything step by step, you know, and this is something you could do. Like you take your phone out, use the calculator app on your phone. You can do the same thing. that we did, that I did up here on the board, wherever you at, no matter what store you're in, no matter what restaurant you're in. And there are other methods where you can use mental math, so you don't have to take out a calculator, to figure out some of these things. We can do some, do rounding or use like benchmark percentages. I may have a video already about that on the YouTube channel. I may not. If I don't, I need to put one up, But yeah, this is basically, generally how you calculate your subtotal, your sales tax, your tip. And if the tip wasn't 20%, let's say it was 15%, the only thing that would be different is instead of multiplying by 0.20, we would multiply by 0.15 if you wanted to leave a 15% tip. Or let's say you wanted to go above and beyond, leave a 25% tip. Instead of multiplying by 0.20, you multiply by 0.25. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is basically how it's done. And again, shout out to the Indigo Blue Coffee House. Like I said, when I end up out in Pine Bluff, I'm meant to come check y'all out, And again, if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit that button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the post notifications. And if you felt that this video was helpful, please hit the like button and also share the video. Share the video with some other people, some other young people that might benefit from knowing how to do this skill. Somebody that, needs to know like how to calculate the sales tax, how to calculate the tip, how to calculate the total bill, so that we make sure that like, your calculations as a consumer match up with their calculations as the business owner. So y'all can be on the same page and be doing good business together. You know what I mean? And as always, do remember, there's all this math all around you. Peace.